All right, welcome to the 121% podcast. So excited to welcome today one of our newest members to our family here at OneBlue in Orlando, the wonderful and talented Nancy Lezotte and her team, actually. But her team decided they were too camera shy, so we just have team leader Nancy joining us today.
Good morning.
Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world and when you're listening and watching. So just, I wanted to chat with you because, one of our goals of our podcast is truly to help real estate agents take their business from where they are now to 121%. And our mantra is it's 50% education, 50% motivation, but the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is going to be that extra 21% of action. And you really do embody the 121% rule in every respect. So tell us a little bit about your background. My presumption is you didn't start in real estate at the age of 18. So
I did not.
Kind of tell us where you came from, what your background was, why real estate, and
certainly
your real estate journey to today.
So I'm originally from Chicago, and I have a master's degree in business. So I spent the large part of my working life in adulthood in corporate and in leadership. January of 2019, I decided I was done making money for other companies, and I was going to start making money for myself. I quit corporate cold turkey and jumped into real estate, both feet, full-time, and had to make it.
Yeah, no choice.
No choice.
That's good. So what type of business, what was you say business, what was the industry you were in prior?
So I used to design and build custom wheelchairs for the critically ill and injured.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
How did I not know that?
It's, it's not connected to where our journey so far.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So why real estate? Why, with all the different opportunities, having your background and, your skill set, you could have done many different things, and there's lots of things that you can do to earn money for yourself. Why real estate?
So there are multiple areas of real estate that are of interest to me, including helping customers either find their dream home or sell their home for the most money in the shortest amount of time. I do intend to invest in real estate. I invested in real estate in Chicago. So I kind of want to get back into that, but I own my own business. I work for myself, and I can design my life the way I intend to. That my dreams come true.
All right. So you started out. You've only been with one company prior to this one.
Correct.
So what drove you to choose that company to start with, and then fast forward a couple years, what changed in your business that the new option, the better option for you to go from today to the future was Century 21?
So I was with Keller Williams, Elite Partners Group, or Elite Partners Realty, and they have a fantastic training program. They launch new agents in a comfortable way, and we springboarded into success using our own tenacity and our own drive and commitment to the industry and to our customers. So we kind of reached a point where Century 21 OneBlue aligns with our values and our needs, and the tools that you provide is exceptional for the growth that we want to experience going forward. And I think that we're going to take what we were given in the past, which we appreciate and we respect, and you're going to help us expand it 121%.
Exactly, right? Well played. You've had some extraordinary results in your business thus far. And just for full disclosure, I actually met Nancy on a real estate transaction. In last week's episode, you met Jody, and I was listing Jody's home. Nancy had a buyer. That's how we met. And I will say, and I want to say this publicly for you and for Lindsay and your team, it was a perfect offer packet. Never before have I ever received an offer on a listing as a company or as previous as an agent that was 100% perfect. And I'm not talking like the terms. I'm talking like it was filled out properly. All the writers and disclosures were there. I was like, whoa. And I joked with Jody. I'm like, I like her. And then when you met Jody, you know, when you went to the showing and then, you know, the inspection and beyond, it was just, we knew it was a fit. And for all the brokers and team leads out there, you know, it was just, you know, the deal did fall apart, unfortunately, due to something in the buyer's past that, you know, caught them by surprise. So through no fault of anyone. But when it did fall apart, and I was having that conversation with you that night, you know, I was like, hey, if you're ever looking to make a change, you know, just, I'm not trying to hard recruit. That's not who I am. But, you know, if you're ever going to make a change, I'd love to have the opportunity to sit down with you. And that's when you said, well, funny you say that. And look where we are today. So you never know where a conversation will lead. So tell me about how you built, what were your results? What did you do? Because you're on your third year now, right?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So tell me about your results, your first year, your second year, and then how you're doing this year.
So our first year, I started doing transactions, I would say, in August. So that was really a learning year, but we did, I think, 6 to 10 transactions that year. It was really just...
Between August and the end of that year?
Yes.
6 to 10?
Yes.
And that's when you got into real estate, was August?
Yes.
So people, 6 to 10, August, September, October, November, in 5 months, 6 to 10.
Yes.
That's a pretty incredible full year for most new agents. And you did it in 5 months.
Really?
I mean, most agents only sell 1 or 2 their first year.
Oh. They're capable of so much more.
Most are, yes.
Yes. And then our first full year was 2020. And
ooh, right into a pandemic.
Yeah, we actually...
Were you questioning your decision in March?
We were horrified. Yes, we were horrified. But we decided at that time that we were going to be successful. We had chose this career. We chose this path. And we just knuckled down and prospected. And we ultimately ended up with 25 transactions our first full year of real estate. And we did almost $7 million.
And so far this year?
We did not work really the first half of the year because we were teaching and doing other things in real estate. So the second half of the year, we're about at $7 million again.
All right. And you're closing out the year pretty strong too.
Yes.
So
yes.
And your business plan for next year is incredible. So you talk about prospecting, and there's really 2 kind of theories with prospecting, I guess you could call it. There's traditional prospecting, which is calling and door knocking, FSBOs, expireds, circle prospecting, geographic farming, 5510, whatever you want to call that. And then there's the new way, which is, you know, social media ads, leveraging TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, all the newfangled things, right? You have really been incredibly successful at some of the more traditional sides of prospecting. So talk to me about why you made the decision that you were going to pick up the dreaded phone and do door knock. What about that appealed to you, and why did, I mean, because you've been good at it, so.
Everybody is an opportunity. Prospecting is all about conversation. It's you, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you have to ask. It doesn't matter. And when it's the difference between having gas in your car, food in your fridge, your bills paid, it's easy to pick up a telephone and ask a for sale by owner if they're interested in working with you. It's easy. So the worst...
You say it's easy.
It
but
is.
Most agents would disagree with you.
Really?
I agree with you. The actual act of doing it is easy. The mental block of the fear of rejection, you know, the fear of being cussed out, just it stops most people. So yes, while it's the actual task is easy, starting it for most agents tends to be not easy.
So the worst they can do is say no.
At my point, I had this conversation with agents yesterday at a training class. What's the worst? They're going to tell you no, cuss you out, slam the door in your face, hang up on you. Ooh, We know statistically about 3 to 4% of leads will convert. So if you're knocking on 100 doors or calling 100 people, you have to get through over 95 no's. So celebrate the freaking no.
That's right. The no's are money too. The no's, if you divide the no's and you get to a certain formula where the no's are important financially. The no's are important.
You have to have the no's to get to the yeses.
Correct. So if you're not actually picking up the phone and asking for the business, you're not going to get it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you have to ask for business?
You do.
Oh, wow.
Everywhere.
I should write that down.
I think you've mastered asking for the business in you prospect.
I do. So our way we got started was a little bit different. Also a different market. When I got started in 2014 and in 15, it was a flip market, heavy buyer market, right? We buyer market all the way. Tons of inventory, not a lot of buyers due to qualification issues coming out of the Great Recession. So, getting buyer leads is so easy. It's order taking. Put an ad up on social media, right? Do a blog. I mean, you can generate buyer leads like nobody's business. They're cheap, they're plentiful, and everybody, the buyer typically isn't paying you. That comes from the listing brokers, how a buyer's agent is compensated. So it's less of a barrier with them.
Sure.
But that listing agent, there's a lot of people competing. And in this market, there's a lot of buyers. We have low inventory. So every agent is out there. I won't say every, but most agents are out there trying to get that seller to list.
You got to list to last.
LOL. List or lose is what I say.
Yeah.
It really is. So talk to me about when you're calling a FSBO. How are you? The traditional mindset on a FSBO is they think they're smarter than us. They know what they're doing, and they don't need us, and our compensation is too much. So how do you overcome that barrier with them?
So first, for me, it's about building the relationship. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it's about treating them with respect. I treat them as though they're a co-broke because they've put themselves in that position. And through conversation, as a co-broke, they themselves identify the missing pieces, the things that they may not have for a successful transaction, and the value that I can provide them in listing their home and getting it sold. So something, for instance, would be an appraisal. They don't know how to navigate an appraisal if it comes in short, how to negotiate that. So through conversation and relationship building and treating them with respect and as though they're a co-broke, they put themselves in that position. So I speak to them nicely and kindly. I don't treat them as though I know more than they do. And they often start to depend on me as a tool, as a resource for the transaction and identifying the things that they don't have. So,
is it a one-call close?
No, never.
Never. Right. So how's that first call? If I am the FSBO, you've just called me. How are you not getting hung up on? Obviously you're getting it, but how those ones that stay on the phone with you, how do you overcome that initial hump? Because I think if we can get past that initial and get them to talk, then it gets easier and easier.
Ask them how their sale is going, how the sale of their home is going. And that immediately makes them stop, and they either tell you that it's under a contract or it's going well. I'll give an example. I did a for sale by owner tour yesterday, and I called the gentleman, and I said to him, how's the sale of your home going? It's been on the market 33 days.
In this market?
Yes.
Whoa.
And he said, it's going great. And I said, can you tell me what you think the barriers are to getting the home sold? And I said, what do you mean it's going great? You have a lot of interest and you're not getting offers? And he said, yes. So then he invited me to his house, and I was able to help him with a few pointers on some of the things that I think he could use help in.
So you're building a relationship and trust by saying, hey, I'm not coming to get your listing.
Right.
I'm coming to do a consultation with you to help you achieve what your perceived goals are right now. Ultimately, your end goal is to convert them into
Certainly.
a listing, But that initial conversation is, let me help you do it on your own.
That's right. I've always been taught, come from contribution.
Service first, sales second, so I say. So same thing.
Yep. So if you're going with genuine offering of being a consultant instead of a salesperson, then they're more responsive. Mm-hmm. It's less of a sales relationship and more of a consultation.
And so how does that go? I mean, are they very, okay, so now you're there. Yesterday you did this consultation with the gentleman, and you've left him with some pointers. So what's your next step?
So I'm calling him today.
Okay.
Thanking him for allowing me the appointment, asking him if there's anything else that I can do to help him, and I'm going to tell him that I'm going to call him back again Monday. I'm going to call him Monday. I'm going to give him the weekend and see if he's sold or gone under contract. The more time goes on, the more strained he may become to sell the property.
Right.
And he confided in me yesterday that money is tight, so there's going to be a sense of urgency. And I believe it's 83% of for sale by owners end up listing with the agent. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the one who continues to build that relationship, it's going to be me. He chooses.
Yep. It's when the pain increases enough that it overcomes the mental mindset of the commission.
Right.
And one thing with our numbers is we typically outsell our peers by 7% on list price to sell price ratio. So we have an added benefit to be able to say we typically earn our commission and then some.
Sure.
Which is a huge benefit when you get to that point.
I love that. That's another fantastic feather in your cap.
Our cap.
Our cap. Yeah, but something that was appealing to me is you're able to break down the benefit to the customer, that we're able to sell typically 7% higher than
our competitors.
Yes, and that's fantastic.
And 90% faster.
I love it.
So, yeah. So, okay, so that's the for sale by owner. Let's talk about the expired listing. I mean, we don't have a lot of those right now. We've been telling our agents to go back to the beginning of 2020 when those listings expired because of the circumstances in our world, and see if they've sold since then. If not, give them a call, because right now we're typically not getting a lot of expireds. So what is that first conversation for you when you call an expired?
So first of all, I want to say that I have over 1,000 expired opportunities available to me in my dialer today. That's a huge opportunity, and I strongly encourage agents to invest in finding that data because the opportunities are there. So you just and yesterday I think 5 more dropped in that were newer. So I guess I encourage agents to put the work in to find the data, and that's the first step.
Right.
The second step is, again, building a relationship of trust with the expired and not making them feel like they made a bad decision in using their previous agent, not diminishing their decision-making opportunities, and asking them if you can come, sit with them, present your value proposition, and see if there's any different factors that may be enticing to them.
That's a good point. I always ask an expired straight up, why do you think the home left the market without being sold?
Sure.
And because it doesn't matter what you think or what the reality is.
Right.
It's their perception has got to be overcome first.
Yeah.
And if you know why they think, and maybe they have some valid points, maybe it's, bad advice they've received in the past, whatever, you're able to then overcome that. If you don't have that information, you're trying to sell something or sell a service or present a service that they don't think they need.
Yeah.
You've got to overcome that other part.
Yeah, it's ask questions and listen. Ask questions to listen, not to respond. And then you're building that relationship.
And those open-ended questions. The more they talk, the more they are trusting.
That's right.
So, and then the more you learn to leverage in your pitch.
Right. And in my opinion, in both for sale by owner and expired, the goal is to get in front of the customer.
The goal, yeah, everything. I mean, I would even say is get it face to face.
That's right. So even if you can have a brief conversation, I think agents often say too much over the phone. They don't get in the door and capitalize on their personalities and, you know, how they're connecting with the potential seller. So get the appointment. The rest will fall into place.
I tell the agents all the time, it is very easy for a customer to fire a text message, to fire a phone conversation, or fire an email agent, right?
That's right.
It's once you get face to face and they begin to know, like, and trust you. That's why in this market, video is so important. Agents, if you are working expireds, if you are working FSBOs, it is so important that you have some videos out there talking about giving advice to buyers. I'm sorry, giving advice to sellers, I should say, about that process. Hey, if you had expired, if your listing has left the market without being sold, we call that expired in our world. You know, here are some things to consider. You know, giving some advice and things they can do. It shows you're the expert, but it also gets them to know you and be you, be authentically you. Don't be a different version of you. If you're, you know, we have one agent who she's very, very outgoing, very just bubbly, and she did a video and she was very calm and subdued. I'm like, who is this? I don't know this person on the video. That's not the agent they're going to get. They're going to get the fun one, but this was the corporate one.
Right.
Be you, be authentically you, and that's going to help you build those relationships.
100%. You know, one of the things, I mean, we're in business for ourselves, and one of the things that I've always experienced in corporate is, you know, I have tattoos, and they're visible, and in the corporate world, they're not always accepted. But I'm a multi-million-dollar producer, and I have tattoos on my arms, and I laugh and I joke, and you know, I have a good time with my customers. I try to make their journey as, you know, as fun as possible. So, and those are relationships. They're true relationships to me.
I've always wore a company polo and jeans since I got in the business. And, you know, everybody says you have to wear a suit. You don't have, you have
bow
to
tie.
be
Bow tie.
You and your bow tie thing. You have to be authentically you in all respects.
That's right.
People are going to respect it. Don't be someone you're not. If you love wearing suits and that's your shtick, you love it, great.
That's right.
If you don't. You know, don't go dressed like a bum. But I do know one agent who sells down in the Keys, and he's in flip-flop shorts and a Hawaiian shirt.
It works.
It works. So know your market, you know, kind of match that customer. So getting back, so we talked about expireds and FSBOs. What other types of sellers do you go after?
I do short sale and pre-foreclosure, and that is a big come-from contribution place in my heart. These are people that need our help, and those are difficult conversations. They're sensitive conversations, but they're necessary conversations, and I'm truly helping somebody get out of a situation. The same with probate. Divorce, upsizing, downsizing. We do all kinds of, and I love circle prospecting. I love circle prospecting. So I'll get a listing in a neighborhood, and my open houses determine the interest of the neighborhood. And sometimes I get buyers that there's no houses in the neighborhood. It gives me the perfect opportunity to say, hey, I truly got a buyer here. Would you consider it? And it's happened. They've said yes.
You know, with us too, an added tool you'll learn, with our BoomTown, we have, I think we're already at 33,000 plus leads. So if you want to circle prospect a neighborhood, just get with us. We can actually go in the database and see how many people we have that are interested in that general area. And chances are, with all those leads, we have buyers who are truly and genuinely looking for that neighborhood.
That's right.
So you can do that pretty much in any neighborhood right now with our database.
That is so exciting to me.
You know, so it pays to have a big company, you know, that has the tools and resources you need. So, okay, we've talked about the types. Now, one of the big questions I get from agents all the time is, well, Kevin, where do I find these leads? So let's talk about that a little bit. Where have you found to be the most successful sources of finding the data? So finding the FSBOs, the expireds, all that, with the best contact information, because it's always a struggle in this, modern age, right? With the DNC list and people not having home phones. How are you able to overcome that and get the data?
So first of all, do not ever call a do not call number. Please make sure that you check, please. It is not worth it. No.
In Florida, it's a $26,000 fine.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So I do not call do not calls. It's very important to me to know that information up front. And I think it's important to understand that we should do this in stages, getting our leads. When I first started last year, when I did the 7 million my first year, I did it all free. There was I didn't buy a dialer. It was free.
So you didn't pay for leads?
No.
Didn't pay for dialer service?
No.
You pay for. So wait, you can make money without investing it?
Yes. In fact, you should make money before you invest money.
So, but you did sweat equity. You
I
actually had, it didn't like you sat at home and kumbaya, woosah, and the leads just showed up, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And my sphere is in Chicago.
Right.
So
That's another important thing, because I hear that all the time, especially in Florida, Central Florida. We have a lot of, it's rare to meet that unicorn, that native-born Floridian. They're a rare species around here.
Right.
So everybody's from somewhere else, right? And that's it. Well, I don't have a sphere here. Okay. 7 million. I didn't have a sphere here.
No.
I did 50 sales in my first, year.
It's incredible.
It can be done.
Yes.
So, how, talk to me about that.
So I looked at Zillow, Trulia, ForSaleByOwner.com. I looked at Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you have to check the do not call registry. And then you dial. You actually make the phone call. So sweat equity first. And then I went to RedX. And I only purchased for sale by owner. With the expireds, you go into MLS. You can I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Remind,
yeah.
Remind has a ton of data, and you can sort it, and you can get absentee owners. So much data out there. You could probably host a 3-hour course here just in Remind.
Oh yeah, we have a couple.
Yeah. So there's tons of opportunities, tons out there for free. But then I moved. I've recently done Vulcan 7 because I found that their data is abundant.
And I've heard it's a lot more accurate as well. You get better phone numbers. Like if you pull up my house, you'll get a phone number, but that phone number is for my alarm system. You're not going to get me.
Yeah.
But so you get cell phone data too with Vulcan.
You get cell phone data and you get emails. So if you're not able to reach somebody by phone, you could send them an email. So it's about not stopping until they tell you to stop.
Until they say no.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Would have thought. So using those data sources. So now in your second year, like how are you moving forward? Your goal, you came to me the other day, and your goal for Q1 is 3 listings a week.
Yep.
That's a powerful goal.
It is.
And there's a bet in place.
There is.
I have to wear a bow tie if you do it.
And a dress if I don't.
And
I wear a
Yeah,
dress.
let's clear that up.
I wear a
get
dress.
to wear the dress. All right. So that's the bet, which I know I can't wait to see your dress.
The bow tie is going to be beautiful.
There's not going to be a bow tie. I'm not worried about it. I'm challenging you. Laying down the gauntlet. It's going down. Whatever. Anyway, so how are you positioning yourself, ramping yourself up to be able to do that?
So currently I joined Century 21 OneBlue. That's the first step. I don't know that we would have the opportunity to reach such a lofty goal. You are plugging the holes in the business where we obviously needed help. So you have all of the technology and all of the resources and knowledge about I don't know, it's becoming more traditional, but the less traditional ways of
The
prospect.
digital.
Yeah, you're doing
I call
all.
it traditional versus digital.
Yeah, I mean, you've plugged all the holes in our digital business, and you're allowing me to focus on dialing 130 dials a day with 130 conversations. That's my goal, is 130 conversations a day.
So it'll be a lot more dials.
Yes.
To get to that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think with your guidance, I think we're able to zero in on fruitful dials better than we were before. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I'm hoping to have more laser-focused dials. So I don't have to make as many dials, but they're fruitful, I'll say. But if I do, I do. I stay on until I have the 130 conversations.
I mean, the dials are not the big thing, because using a dialer system like a Vulcan 7 or Mojo, you can leverage a triple line dialer that will drop the voicemails for you. So you're not actually having to leave voicemails. It's doing it for you. And by the way, here is my voicemail tip that I'll share this. It works. It was given to me, so I shall give it and pay it forward. This is the best voicemail greeting you can ever leave that will get them to call you back. Hi, this is Kevin with Ookie Dookie Real Estate. I've got some great news I want to share with you. Please give me a call. Insert your number. And shut up and hang up. Everybody wants to know what's the good news. And the reason we're calling is we've got good news, right? We can help them sell their home. It's a beautiful day. You come up, the interest rates are low. You have those talking points. My very first coach, and this is how I know it works, because I got suckered, and I told agents, and the agents that use it, it does work. He told me during this time and this time, you do outbound call. You do your cold calling.
Yep.
You don't answer incoming calls. You don't respond to emails. You don't respond to texts. You do nothing but dial out.
That's right.
So he calls me during the time, because he had my schedule. He knew I was outbound. And I'm like, oh, he knows better. He's trying to catch me. So I'm not answering. I got him. And then the voicemail. So let me listen to it. So I listened to the voicemail. And it was that voicemail. Hey, Kevin, it's Tom. I got some great news. Give me a call back as soon as you get this message. I'm like, oh, my God. So I called him. And he goes, what the hell are you doing calling me? You're supposed to be doing outbound. But you left me a voice. You're not supposed to be checking your voicemail. Now, the great news is that's a good voicemail to leave while you're doing your outbound calls. Now, hang up and get back to work. I'm like going, ooh, you jerk.
I love it, though. And until just now, I've been saying too much. So I'm going to start using that.
It does work.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna start using it.
I use it on agents. When I call, your broker's calling, but you get the voicemail. Hey, I've got some great news. Give me a call. And then when they call back 4 hours, I had a lead.
Oh.
I had a hot lead ready to buy. It was $800,000. I gave it out. No, just don't.
Well, I'm going to tell you that's a big point today, though, is agents need to answer their phone.
Yes. Answer the phone.
That's right. But time blocking, too, you mentioned, it's a big deal. So I time block from 9 to noon every day. And if I don't hit my dials, I keep going until I do. Not my dials, my conversations.
Conversations. You have a dial goal. You have a conversation goal.
Yep.
We call them conversation attempts here, but call attempts, I should say. But so if your goal is to hit X number of conversations, you don't stop until you hit that.
Right.
Once you've hit that, if you still haven't hit your dial number, you go and continue and hit the dial, because don't stop.
That's right.
So until you hit both your conversation and your dial goal, you don't stop.
That's right. I have one job, lead generation. That's my only job. Because
I'd refine that one bit. You have one job, to have conversations.
True. I like that. I like that a lot better, because I'm a relationship person.
Right. It's to have conversations. I tell our agents, go for 21 new conversations a day. I'll be happy with 10, but 21 conversations with people you've never had a conversation before.
So easy.
In line at start. If you wear your company swag, and if you're with a well-known, recognized brand that is the most respected and most recognized name in real estate, like Century 21, people just genuinely ask you, so how's the market?
Yeah.
And then do you know how to answer? That'll be a future episode. How to answer that question, because it's different from different people.
Awesome.
Are they looking to buy, rent, or sell? What's their price point? It's all different.
You pointed something out, a different way to ask. Do you know anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? you had a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Will you share that here?
Do you know of anyone who's looking to buy, sell, or rent anytime in the future? Do you know anyone who is looking to buy, sell, or rent in the future?
Write it down.
But think about that. Think about the power of that question. Do you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or rent in the future? Who is that? Every single human being on planet Earth.
I love it.
At some point, everyone's got to buy a house or rent.
That's true.
And ultimately, someone's going to sell. So of those three, that's everybody. You check every box. And if they tell you no, really? You don't know any people? We help them find friends then.
That's right. You know, I saw 21 people on my way here. I stopped at the gas station.
You know what I do at the gas station?
Tell me. I love
so
it.
So we get the business cards. Our cards are a credit card size, not the, they call them the European standard cut versus the U.S. standard cut. So they're exact same size of a credit card. And we get the rounded corners. So when I get gas, I put a card into the credit card slot.
And how many have you sold?
2.
I love it. See, it's innovation. It's creativity.
I've been cursed out by a couple gas station owners too along the way, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean, they're your nose.
Exactly. But how much does that cost? 2 cents?
Yeah.
A cent? Whatever cost of a business. I was there anyway.
So I ordered those cards, and I am going to do that. And I'm going to do it confidently, and thank you for that tip, and thank you for the verbiage. It's just, the easiest way to say it is everybody is an opportunity, and have the conversations. Mm-hmm. Be proud of what you do.
You're helping, our job is to help someone with the largest transaction of their lives.
That's right.
And it is a very stressful time. It's, the whole buying a home and moving combined is one of the biggest stressors in human life. So you add the stress of moving and add it with the financial stress of it all. And when you go for a mortgage approval, I mean, they get personal.
Yeah.
They get all up in your business.
They make you feel bad sometimes, too.
It's like, man, do I have to go for a physical? It's crazy. So, we're there to help calm that process down, to bring peace and serenity. I say we're the real estate Sherpas.
Yeah.
Our job is to help get them from the beginning of the process to the end of the process with the minimal amount of stress. We know how to do it. We leverage our expertise. I ask agents all the time, what do you sell? I get houses, condos, land, businesses. No, you sell your expertise, your knowledge.
That's right.
I'm not buying the land. I'm not selling the land. The customer is.
That's right.
My job is to help them do that, leveraging my expertise to make sure they don't get screwed in the process.
Right.
Shocking.
Can I say one other thing about?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, go ahead. We can always edit.
Yeah. You might want to.
Uh-oh.
But I'll say this. I had a for sale by owner. I'm going to take it back just because conversations matter. Mm-hmm. I worked on him building a relationship for 30 days. It took 30 days. And as a result of that for sale by owner, I have gotten 5 other transactions. So the one conversation allowed me to meet 5 other people.
Did you end up selling his house?
Yes.
Okay.
I sold his house. The HOA president from that neighborhood asked me to sell his house, and so on, and so on, and so on. So have the one conversation. It allows you to share your expertise with many others.
I'll share another story, a similar one, but you did better than me. There was a couple I was trying to help. It was their first home together, and they found the perfect house. It was a for sale by owner, and he refused to pay. He was not going to pay, and they didn't have the numbers, for me to be able to charge them. And I had a buyer broker agreement that would have required it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, right? So I officially made a liter of Kettle One and a $50 Starbucks gift card. That's what they gave me at closing. Because they're like, because this guy was a gargantuan pain. I mean, horrid. It was the worst seller I've ever worked with. And they you're going to need the vodka, and then the next day you're going to need the coffee. But from that, so I earned $0. And I was very lucky. I did so with the blessing of my broker. He's like, we do the right thing.
Always.
And a lot of brokers, a lot of agents won't. They'll say, if I'm not getting paid, I'm not doing it. I've gotten 6 deals from them, 6 referrals from them. And then I end up selling the house that they bought when they upsized and moved out of town.
Yeah.
And then I got the referral on that one too. So you all, by doing the right thing, by just delivering the extraordinary experience
Right.
to your customer, it will pay tenfold. You know, our office has a 99% customer satisfaction score, 98% for our brand. And, you know, so many customers that we talk to who have worked with other agents tell the horror stories of, well, once I got under contract or once I got my house listed, I never heard from my agent. And then it's like, see you at the closing. And that's why we have our commercial out there, the cave, the sailing, and the hot air balloon. It's like, you know, kind of showing that, you know, we're not going to abandon you. And it's so important that, you know, from the beginning when you meet them through the closing and then after the closing, to continue to build those relationships and maintain them.
Yeah.
And too many agents, especially at the closing, they get that check, deuces, I'm out of here. And it's sad.
Well, Century 21, OneBlue allows us the opportunity to maintain those relationships in such a cool way. And you make it so easy for us to maintain those relationships. And when I'm calling about the transition, I'm sharing how you're helping us stay in touch with our past clients, and our clients are excited. Customers. Our customers are excited. Our customers are excited.
So there's lots of great tools. We're very lucky with our brand, and there are a lot of great brands. I mean, your previous company was a great brand. I just happen to think we're the best. And, you know, when I was an agent with the brand, I left, we went independent because they wouldn't sell me a franchise to a brand new startup. When they came knocking on the door 18 months after we opened and said, hey, do you want to join? I mean, my insides were vibrating. I mean, I was jumping up and down, and I was ready to go. Of course, I put my poker face on. But yeah, there was no doubt in my mind. And at that point, I'll be very honest and open. You know, we have one of our values is to open the house. I did speak with other franchises. I'm like, well, if I'm going to make a 10-year commitment, I want to talk to Keller, talk to Engel Volkers, talk to several. And none of them held a candle. They were all great companies. They offered great values. They have fiercely loyal agents. But I just couldn't get away from the gold standard of Century 21.
Right.
And we're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
What are you excited most about the future for your business?
Man, there's too many. There's too many. I get to help more people. I get to build more relationships. It's just incredible. The opportunities that OneBlue, Century 21 OneBlue offers to serve our customers. It's incredible. It's moving. When that's your drive every day, I'm excited to call people, both past customers and future customers, and share with them what we have going on here. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. I have an entire team behind me to help me serve those customers. I'm running towards those customers because I have so much to offer them. It's incredible. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, you're excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, I think 2022 is going to be a marathon of a year. There's nothing on the economic horizon that says it's going to be slowing down. 2020, the fourth quarter was a phenomenal quarter due to a lot of the measures that governments had in place that prevented sales in the first 6 months of the year. So we're predicting that as an industry, we might be down in revenue or volume and sides for the Q4, but you really need to compare that against 2019 because 2020 was such a wonky year. Mm-hmm. But that continued record growth, we're expecting 2022 to be the same. There's nothing on the economic horizon that would indicate we're going to have challenge. I shared with this morning during our momentum huddle, U.S. manufacturing is at the highest levels in years. Auto production is at the highest level in years, though they don't have the chips to finish them. So they're waiting on that from I think it's Taiwan or another country. The jobs numbers were just revised up over almost 700,000 for the summer. So they're expecting the lowest unemployment filings in years to come out today. So all of our economic news, unfortunately, inflation is higher because we can't get goods and services, the goods that we need in from overseas right now. But everything is showing that we're going to continue to see this record growth. And If you haven't watched it already, I encourage you to go to Google. I'll actually put a link if you're watching us on YouTube. I'll make sure it's in the link below or in the description below to the National Geographic Century 21 feature documentary that was aired, I think 4 weeks in October of 21, Home Rediscovered, where we partner with National Geographic as brand to dive into how home has changed throughout the events of past. I'm trying not to say the word of what has happened recently because then we can't promote the podcast because that word's not allowed. But it's go watch it. Home has changed. How we use home, how square footage is looked at, what home means. For so many people, home was always that single family with the big backyard, and for some now it's a
Work
van.
life. Yeah,
It's a mobile life. It's more space. We used to be formal living rooms, formal dining rooms were the rage. Now we're going to have a home office or a Zoom room.
That's right.
Or a studio at home. It's changed so much. We're seeing some of the biggest shifts in our economy and our lives in the history of our nation, and that means home has to change.
Right.
And I'm proud of our brand that we partnered with such a just an amazing organization as National Geographic to do the research, to do the data, to say, what are consumers telling us? And no other brand's done that. Not one single brand in real estate. But we did.
It's honorable.
It is.
It is. And historical, in my opinion.
And I also was proud of that documentary with the diversity that was included. I mean, we were huge at diversity with Century 21 and within the Realogy family as well. And it was definitely showcased in the people that were selected to be interviewed, homeowners, sellers across the nation, and then even some of the experts like former HUD Secretary Castro, our own CEO Mike Meadler from Century 21 Corporate. So it was a great episode. Check it out. It's a great program, and it goes to what we talk about today. We're here to help and serve consumers, and the more we know, the better. So
that's right.
I got off on a tangent at the end.
That's okay. I love it.
Yeah.
You had me hanging on every word. You did.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, that is our show for today. If you are watching on YouTube, please do us a favor. Don't forget to click. There you go. Don't forget to click the like button and also give the video a like, and then click that bell so that you're notified every time we release a new episode. If you're listening on your favorite podcast app, thank you so much. Please consider giving us a 5-star review if you've enjoyed the broadcast, if you enjoy the show. Helps our show get promoted in the algorithms across all the different platforms so that we can get in front of more agents to help them take their business from where they are now to 121%. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Go out there, defy mediocrity, and every day commit to delivering extraordinary experiences. Have a great day.